Hey there, curious mind. Pull up a chair and let me tell you about one of the internet's favorite unsolved mysteries, the time-traveling hipster. This story has been bouncing around online forums, conspiracy circles, and late-night discussions for over a decade now. It's part sci-fi thriller, part historical head-scratcher, and 100% fascinating. So grab your coffee or tea if you're classy, and let's dive into this bizarre tale that might just make you question everything you know about time travel. It all started in 2008 when someone stumbled upon an old photograph taken in 1941 during the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia. The black and white image shows a group of people dressed in typical 1940s attire, men in suits, women in modest dresses, everyone looking like they stepped out of a history textbook. But then, wait a second. Who's that guy? Standing near the back of the crowd is a man who looks completely out of place. He's wearing modern sunglasses, think Ray-Ban Wayfarers or something similar. A hoodie sweatshirt. Yep, the kind we see everywhere today, but definitely not in 1941. Blue jeans. Not the stiff, high-waisted trousers of the era, but sleek, modern denim with a casual fit. A camera, held up to his face as if he's snapping photos. A pose familiar to anyone who's ever whipped out their smartphone at a party. At first glance, it's easy to dismiss him as a quirky local with eccentric fashion sense. But look closer and you'll realize this guy doesn't belong here. His outfit screams 21st century, not mid-20th century. And that camera? It looks suspiciously like a digital device, decades before such technology existed. Once this photo hit the web, it spread like wildfire. People couldn't stop talking about it. Was this proof of time travel? Had someone from our era slipped back to 1941 and accidentally photobombed history? Or was it all just an elaborate hoax? Online sleuths pored over every detail, zooming in on the grainy image to analyze textures, shadows, and angles. Some argued that the hipster was holding a Kodak Brownie box camera, which did exist in the 1940s, but skeptics countered that the shape and size didn't quite match any known models from the time. Others pointed out that while hoodies and jeans weren't unheard of in the 1940s, they certainly weren't styled like this. Meanwhile, believers had a field day. They speculated that this mysterious figure was a tourist from the future, armed with advanced tech and a love for retro aesthetics. Maybe he was sent back to observe historical events, or maybe he just got lost and ended up at a random bridge ceremony. Either way, the idea of a time traveler casually mingling with folks from 80 years ago was too tantalizing to ignore. Of course, not everyone bought into the time travel theory. Critics quickly offered alternative explanations. With modern editing tools, it's entirely possible someone altered the original image to add anachronistic elements. Photoshop experts could easily insert a hoodie-clad hipster into a vintage photograph. While no definitive evidence of tampering has surfaced, some remain convinced this is the simplest explanation. Hoodies and sunglasses weren't completely unknown in the 1940s. Athletes, pilots, and certain subcultures occasionally wore similar styles. Could this hipster simply be an early adopter of trends that later became mainstream? It's unlikely, but not impossible. Another theory suggests the man was part of a staged reenactment or promotional event. Perhaps the photo wasn't taken in 1941 at all, but rather in the 1970s or 80s as part of a nostalgic celebration. This would explain both the vintage setting and the modern clothing. While these arguments hold water, they don't fully extinguish the spark of intrigue surrounding the photo. After all, isn't it more fun to imagine a time traveler sneaking through history? There's something undeniably captivating about the idea of a person from the future blending into the past. It taps into our deepest curiosities about time, technology, and human ingenuity. Here's why this story resonates so strongly. What if time travel is real? What if someone figured it out and decided to test it by attending a small-town bridge ceremony? The possibilities are endless and thrilling. Unlike other alleged time travelers like John Titor or Rudolph Fentz, this guy feels relatable. He's not some grandiose scientist or soldier. He's just a regular person snapping pics and rocking shades. You can almost picture yourself doing the same thing. Photos have a way of grounding abstract ideas in reality. Even though the image is blurry and open to interpretation, seeing the supposed time traveler adds a layer of authenticity, or at least plausibility, to the story. Let's face it, the term time-traveling hipster is hilarious. It combines two of the internet's favorite things, sci-fi weirdness and ironic humor, into one irresistible package. So, did someone from the future really crash a 1941 bridge ceremony? Probably not. Most likely this is either a clever hoax or a case of mistaken identity. But here's the thing. Even if it's fake, it still sparks our imagination. Stories like this remind us that reality is stranger than fiction, and that sometimes the best mysteries are the ones we can't solve. Next time you scroll through old photos or visit a historic site, take a closer look at the background. You never know, you might spot someone who shouldn't be there, and if you do, tag me. I want in on the adventure. What do you think? Is the time-traveling hipster legit, or is it just another urban legend? Either way, it's a reminder that the past, present, and future are always more connected than we realize.